Welcome to the Science of Gratitude podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Valerie Mukanga, and each week we'll explore how gratitude transforms our lives through powerful stories and insights. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to have you again at the Science of Gratitude podcast. Welcome. I have a great guest for you today. Her name is Angel, and I will definitely let her introduce herself to you. Please introduce yourself. Miss Angel, would you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, first of all, thank you, Dr. Valerie, for having me on your podcast. And everyone out there in the world, my name is Angel Theodore. I am an international speaker, author. I'm a certified life coach and the founder of My Self-Care Catalyst. And I just help women recover from burnout and learn how to really take care of themselves so they can help everyone else around them and they can show up better for themselves as well.
Wonderful. So, anyway, in your own term, this is the Science of Gratitude podcast, and I'd like to know, how do you define gratitude in your own terms?
Definitely. And it's funny that the name of your podcast is the Science of Gratitude, because that's basically how I would describe it. It's like being thankful, but there's so much of a science behind it, and it can wire your brain ruts and all those other things. So when people are feeling down or worried or all those things, if they actually do the counter opposite, which is switching to gratitude and practice thankfulness, they'll eventually have more to be thankful for.
Yes. Wonderful to lift themselves up.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'd like for you to actually go about your gratitude story.
Definitely. Well, from the outside looking in, like growing up and all those things, you may have looked and said, you don't have a lot to be thankful for. And that's how I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a broken home, a lot of low self-esteem and all those things, a lot of anxiety. And it wasn't until I was in my 20s that I discovered gratitude, and I discovered the science behind it, and just if practice thankfulness, just the little things. Thank you that I have this pen to write on this paper. Thank you that I have the activities of my limbs. Thank you I was able to get a ride and I didn't have to walk today. Those your focus, and then you're able to start seeing the things around you, and then you're able to have more joy. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And then I kind of into affirmations and just really practicing gratitude every day, because no matter what you're going through in life, if you woke up, you have something to be thankful for.
Absolutely. So wonderful. So you said that you grew up in poverty, and so how did you even overcome that, and how did you use gratitude to actually step up from where you were?
Definitely. Well, yeah, grew up in poverty. I was also dyslexic in school, and I did not know that until I was 26. So when I struggled in school, I remember this one particular time in college, I tried so hard. I studied, I met with the teacher, I went to tutoring, and I still ended up with a D in the class. But my professor said, I know how hard you've been trying. I've seen you put in the work, so I'm going to bump you up to a C. And I think the moment I realized, like, if you put in hard work and like, you're going to see blessings, and then you have more gratitude. So I, like, looking back, that's kind of like when it started. It's like I really tried hard, and there was grace in that moment for me. And with that, I was just so thankful to God. And I just looked at different moments. There's a lot of things in my life that don't make sense, but I think that the scripture, I think it's 1 Corinthians 12:9, and says, in my weakness, you have made me strong. It's God that's coming to lift you up and like show himself strong in your life. And through that, you're going to have much more to be thankful for, because at the end of the day, it's God that does everything in your life.
This is so true, and this is so good, because sometimes you look at yourself and you're like, you frozen because you're like, I don't measure up. I'm a fraud. You have this, complex where, you feel like, you're an imposter and all of those lies. And just knowing, I love the what you just spoke about. You said, in my weaknesses, he is strong. So it's like, there's even this other verse that says, I will even boast in my weaknesses. It's like, It's not even about our aptitudes or what we
No.
are able to do, but like when the minute he steps in, he makes us look like we are all that and a bag of chips.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that too. Too, because I mentioned like at the beginning I'm an author, right? And then later
Yes.
on I mentioned I'm dyslexic. So the fact
Yes.
that I'm a dyslexic author, it means God can use anyone. I mean, come on.
Right? Right. My gosh. I love it. So how do you even go from, realizing, because initially you didn't even know you were
Yeah.
dyslexic. So how did you even figure that out? And then how did you go from there to even started writing a book?
Well, it's funny. It was about 10 years ago, and
Mhm.
I discovered a consultant named Abby Stumble. She was speaking at like a worship summit, and I
Oh,
was like, wow, everything she said, I felt. She grew up in
okay.
a broken home and poverty, chaos, all these things. But she
Mhm.
was up on stage and she was preaching and just talking about God in another way that I really needed to learn. I really
Yes.
needed to know that He was a father and a friend, and He was somebody that cared. She
Yes.
was also married, and all those things. So I was like, wow, if she can do it and her
Mhm.
husband can do it, I can do it, right? And so
Yes.
I followed her on her journey,
Mhm.
and her husband started a podcast.
Mhm.
And in one of her episodes, she talks about how she had trouble kind of like mapping spaces. So with dyslexia, it's not just like it's hard reading, but it's
Mhm.
also hard like trying to pack things and like trying to
Okay.
space things or trying to time things. And I was
Okay.
like, wow, everything she's talking about, I go through, right?
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
did try to go to my doctor about this, but they're like, well, you're 26, you've been through school already, so we can't formally diagnose you. So then I went on
Okay.
like my own research. I know it's crazy,
Oh.
the medical thing. But I did do, like my own research, and I took a couple of assessments that were available online,
Mhm.
and I self-diagnosed,
Okay.
but like all the things like leading up to it was a big piece of it. And then I also learned from my eye doctor too, when I was 26, very insightful age for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
My eye doctor said, your eyes don't work well together. Now, she gave me a medical term for it, but it's
Mhm.
like my eyes are doing two different things. Not like I'm cross eyed, although that
Mhm.
is a part of my diagnosis, but they're taking in information at a different time. And so I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, that's why school was so hard. So I'm over here
Right.
in like the neurodivergent side, but then also my eyes are doing their own thing.
Right.
All that to say too, God can use anyone. Like if you don't get anything else from this podcast episode, it's God can use anyone. And for that,
Anyone.
yeah.
Wow. The challenges of, having one eye focusing on one thing and the other one on another thing while they're supposed to work together, and you come to even overcome that.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
And I got really creative too because I'm an audio and visual learner.
Yes.
So this was like 10 years ago. I would put things into Google Translate and then like have it read it to me, like audibly. You know what I mean? Out loud. So then I could understand it. Or I would look for videos on like the books that we were reading in school. So then I
Yes.
could retain the information.
So
And
smart.
thank you. Thank you.
So smart. I would have not even think about that. Not the Google Translate.
I know, I know. I might be the only one who's done that. Like now we have like voice to text or like transcription,
Yes.
all those things.
My God.
Um, Something else I learned from Abby when listening to one of her podcasts is
Mhm.
that people who are dyslexic actually have a higher chance of becoming entrepreneurs because
Mhm.
we have to think outside of the box a lot. So I always
Right.
think back to that time when I was using Google Translate to try and do my homework. No wonder, no wonder I'm on this path, you know?
Right. Oh my goodness. So what inspired you to actually now start writing a book, and what is even the title of your book?
Oh, yeah. So this book, actually, it's not mine. I'm writing a chapter. I'm a contributing author.
Gotcha.
But something that you all may not know is Dr. Valerie and I, we were in a cohort together
Mhm.
called Vision 101. And one of the students in there is a big brand strategist and all those things.
Mhm.
So at the beginning of the year, she reached out to me. And this was all God because I was like, at some point in 2025, I'm going to reach out to her. She's in Texas, but moving back to London, whatever, right? But God put this book on her heart
Oh.
to help female entrepreneur women who were Christian
Mhm.
because you're kind of in a weird limbo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes your friends in church are like, why don't you just use your business for God and ministry and not for business. And then sometimes in the world, they're like, why are you doing it this way? That's so like, so conservative, or like you're being, what is it? Primitive? I can't remember. It's like when you're really being like very straight line. I can't think of the word. But anyway,
but then you're being pulled from different ways as well.
yeah, you are. And so Sammy saw that, and God put that on her heart to write a book with other Christian female entrepreneurs, and she started a whole movement with it. So it's going to be called Awakened. It's actually going to be dropping in October. So stay tuned, everyone.
Yay.
And we're also doing a business summit in October in the UK. So if you're in the UK, or if you just have a hankering to go travel to the UK, let me know. I'll drop my information later, but we would love to have you. It's going to be a great time. There's such great female Christian entrepreneurs out there that have beautiful stories about how God has worked in their lives. So
I'll let the people that I know in UK to look up.
Yeah, tell them, come on down.
Yes. That's wonderful. So wonderful. I know that you also have a podcast where you focus on confidence. And so how did that come about, and why? Why did you feel the need to start that podcast?
Yeah. So through my whole life, I feel like God has taken me on a journey to be like, you may not learn like those around you. You may not look like those around you, but like I've created you with your own set of gifts to thrive.
Yes.
And I want you to take care of yourself and nurture yourself in that. And what I've seen is there's a lot of women out there that feel like they need to look like someone else or be like someone else. And they're really in that spirit of comparison.
Yes.
So I've created the self-care corner where it brings in other women. I had Valerie, I won't say Dr. Valerie this time. I mean, you earned the doctor. You really earned the doctor.
You're good.
Anyways, I had her on the show, but I bring women on the show who have had to step out in confidence, or who have learned something about their life where, they needed to take care of themselves, or they were burnt out, or they needed emotional healing. So it's called the Self-Care Corner. If you would like to check it out, and if you just need to take time to care for yourself, like I always imagine like you pulling up a blanket with like your coffee or something to end your day just in care, because it's so important. There's a lot of women out there that are struggling with burnout. They're getting autoimmune diseases or other stress-related illnesses because they're really not being true to themselves. They're not being true to who God created them to be. They're trying to be someone else. So that's how that all started. Yeah.
Wonderful. So tell me now, you were talking about, initially, since we were talking about gratitude, you said that, you have learned over the years, the practicing gratitude, which ties in with the science of it all. So would you please walk us through some of the things or some of the ways that you actually practice gratitude so that our audience can be enriched?
There's a couple of ways. So I love to journal. So just like every day writing down something that you're grateful for. They have a lot of different journals out there. I do have a gratitude journal as well, if anyone's interested in that. But with that, just writing down what you're thankful for every day. And then you can go back like over the month and you can see like all the blessings that you have.
Wow.
Another way, which I think is a little more powerful, is saying what you're grateful for out loud. Now, you're not going to be able to track it, but there's something so powerful about your voice. There's something so powerful about you saying the things that you're grateful for, the things that you're good at, and all those things, because your voice is more powerful in your life than anyone else's around you. So I think those are the two ways that really help you rewire your brain. And I don't know like how much science that we can get into, but basically, if you think a certain way for a long time, your brain gets these ruts in them. Think of it like you're shoveling snow, right? You're just going over the same path over and over again.
Yes.
Now, to create a new path of gratitude, you're going to have to go in a different direction and push the other snow, right? A little bit of time, but the more you're thankful for waking up, the more you're thankful for your car, the more you're thankful for your family time, the more you're thankful for just your friends that you have, you're going to be able to create a new rut in your brain. And that changes your brain chemistry. You get more of the endorphins and things like that. And then eventually you're just going to start feeling better.
And so how long did it take you to actually start seeing improvement?
Well, it can take a while. It can take a couple of years, but have no fear. I think because I'm very deep, like I jumped in deep and I started like tackling the really hard problems.
Yes.
If you start like small and kind of, the little things around, you don't jump on like the really big things right away, you're going to see some improvement. And I also think like if you write things down, that's going to help.
Yes.
I didn't really start writing things down until a couple years ago, but write them down again. You have like that log that you can go back and look on. And it's like, oh, wow, I was taken care of there. Wow, look at this. My friend stopped by unexpectedly and brought me coffee. There's something
Yes.
like that.
Okay. So how much, I mean, is there a certain number of gratitude points that you do every day, or you just, when you journal, like how do you go about it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have a planner that I was following. Actually, Terry Savelle Foy, who we were in the Vision 101 cohort together, she has a planner. And in that planner, there's a section for like your daily tasks and all those things. And then the next page, it starts with gratitude, starts with time with God, what did you learn, working out, all those things. So with that, I would write like one thing down every day. But I write so much. I have like 3 notepads right here. I went through her notepad really fast. Like she had a little book. I think I finished that in like 3 weeks.
Wow.
So I just keep notepads around. And like, as I think of something, or if I'm listening to a podcast, I'll just write down, what I'm thankful for. If like something came up, or, my husband's like, I'm making dinner or something, I'm like, oh, thank you God for that,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so now, is there a certain time of the day that you go back and start now voicing out your gratitude? Do you find it like is there a certain time that's more helpful? Do you need to set a certain amount of time to do that? Like, how does it work for you? Because this is like, I mean, I've known about, and you have enriched me as I'm speaking to you, as I'm listening, because I have known about writing, as far as like your gratitude points, but where I have not practiced and I was not even aware of was the echoing of your own voice, speaking it out loud so that your ear can register and that rewiring your brain. I'm very, very interested in that.
Yeah.
How do you go about it? I would like to practice it the same and see how it works.
Well, I'm a little fluid with it, but I say start in the beginning of the day. So at least by 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm not sure what time you wake up, but at least by 9 o'clock in the morning, start writing down or saying what you're grateful for. Another good time, because I listen to like podcasts in the car, or like affirmations, or like motivational messages, right?
Yes.
And sometimes there'll be a section about gratitude. So if I'm just driving in my car, the average commute is 20 minutes each way. I'll just say what they're saying,
Yes.
And so it's kind of like a wax on, wax off thing where it's like incorporated in my routine, and I'm getting that gratitude muscle in. Kind of think of it like you're building a muscle, so every little bit you can lift, every little bit you can stretch. It's good to have in your routine and your momentum.
Yes.
I also say like, so the reflection piece, if you're like going back and you're reading it, I try to do it like towards the end of the day, because like the beginning, like what you're grateful for and all those things, you're documenting it, and at the end of the day, you can go back and reflect.
So that you can go and sleep like with good hopes, high hopes, good mood, versus thinking about all the things that went wrong during your day, but you just go and on purpose look at, to kind of like shock your brain on goodness that you have experienced. I really love that.
Oh, good. Yeah, something else that came to my mind too, if you're someone that likes to take pictures, at the end of every month, just go back and look through your photo gallery. It's like, oh, I got coffee with this person. Oh, I met this person. Like, this was an award I took a picture of. It just really reminds you of how good things are going. And I wanted to highlight that one as well, because your listeners might be more writers, they might be more audible, or they might be more visual. So these are all different ways that you can go back and practice gratitude.
I love taking pictures, and I never thought about just going through my pictures like on a monthly basis. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah.
Even your Facebook post too, especially you with like your podcast and getting more views and things like that. You can go back and see like, oh, this is when we hit the milestone. This is when we did that. It's really helpful.
Wow. This is so good. This is so good. Because I know I know. Yeah, that would be, I'm going to start. Actually, I know that we have already, right now, we're not at the end of the month, but I'm going to actually do that for the previous month and
All
see.
right, go on back.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to sleep myself happy today looking at pictures. I really love that. Thank you so much. I never would have thought about
You're
that.
welcome. You are welcome.
Wow. I love it. So, I'm still pondering because I mean, the way I love taking pictures and looking at pictures, even looking at other people's pictures. So I think that's definitely super valuable for me, even. And I'm sure like there would be many people who are maybe not completely like me, but who would also find this very, very valuable.
Yeah. Well, good. You'll have to let me know how it goes.
I will. I will. And then we'll also ask the audience after a while if they can go back and comment and say, hey, I tried this and this is how it worked out. Well, wonderful. Yes, I absolutely love it. Is there like anything else, like one more bonus point on that gratitude, this in gratitude that you can think of? Because I mean, as you're thinking about it, I'm like, it's getting better and better. You diving deeper and deeper.
And I just want to make sure I have the statistic right. Well, okay. This is why it's so important to focus on the positive. So there is a relationship coach named John Gottman, right? And he found that for every one negative experience you have, you need 5 to counter them out. So that's why it's so important, just like even in your life and all those things, to really focus on the positive. And I was listening to another podcast yesterday too, and this guy said, we don't use our mind the way we should. Like you honestly can create anything that you want in life, but a lot of us tend to go to worry. That's our default brain setting, is just worry what's going on in the world, all the negativity and all those things. But you can easily switch to positivity and gratitude and all those things. And if I can challenge your audience, I encourage you to really think about what you're listening to. Think about the music that you're listening to and what you're putting into your spirit, and just switch one song out next week or one podcast out next week that has more of a negative connotation or that makes you feel really down. And just find one positive thing to replace that with, because that's going to help shift your mind and that's going to help you focus more on the gratitude side.
I love it. So go and try to do an inventory of what you're listening to or whatever you're watching. And if there is something that makes you, go downhill, just go ahead and switch that out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very
I guess this is kind of like something that I did years ago. When I was in my 20s, I used to love watching the television for women. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, because it's always, a lot of the shows were like dramatic where, you would see like somebody being kidnapped or somebody being raped or a Lifetime television for women or somebody being mistreated or, and it was almost always like depicting men as these villains. And I was like, you know what?
100%.
Valerie, if you keep watching this, you will end up hating men. So I put the whole channel away.
Yeah.
Yes, because I felt like I was going to be this cynical woman who could not take, who would always like be suspicious about men. And even though, there is that in life, but, still, there's still some good people out there, some good men out there too.
I agree with you 100%. That's actually what happened with me with music. So I grew up in the 90s, Destiny's Child and Christina Aguilera. And I mean, it was good music, but then I started listening to what they were saying. It was always about breakups, being scorned by a man, a lot of anger. And then I was like, why am I 12 feeling so angry? Like, I don't have a breakup. What's going on?
Right.
And then when I got into my 20s, I started changing my music to like being more confident and like, with words of affirmation and a lot of like girl power music that was encouraging, not like I'm going to dominate a man, but different things like that. And I saw the shift in my life. So I'm telling you, like what you're listening to and watching really has an effect on your mindset and what you're like, how you're going to feel and what you're putting into your spirit.
I absolutely love it. And that's why even I usually advise some people, say, for example, you are feeling sad. And if you're going to choose some type of music to listen to, try to go even praise music, something that's going to bring your spirit up versus something that's going to be really kind of like monotone and get you even more sad. Even if, it's some type of worship may make you even more sad versus getting yourself happy. So at that point, you want to choose something that's going to make you feel better and make you feel more happy or uppity.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. So thank you. Those are some great, great, great points. I thank you so much for giving this and sharing this with the audience. So now I wanted to ask you, is there anything that you are working on? I know we spoke about the podcast, we spoke about the book, but is there anything else that you're working on that you would like our audience to know about?
Yeah. So I have a membership that's all about self-care and really taking that time to like really ground yourself, especially like as the holidays are coming up. We're in a time of transition right now. This is the time when you can get like burnt out and just you don't know what to do. So I have a self-care membership. I also have a freebie for you all if you would like. An affirmation sheet, and it has to do with kind of how we were talking about the science of your brain and rewiring everything going on in your head. So that is available at excuse me, oh my gosh, I was going to say my website and then my website at the same time. At myselfcarecatalyst.com/resources, you'll see some freebies there. So I encourage you to go and check it out. And there's a lot of exciting things coming up in January. We have our next cohort for my coaching membership. It's called the 321 Steps to Self-Care Total Embodiment. I know that was a mouthful, but for women who feel burnt out and just don't know what to do in their relationships, in their family, at work, all those things, this is going to help you heal from it and then also set boundaries in place so then you don't have to go back and like heal from it again. There's also going to be a retreat as well. So if you just go to my website, myselfcarecatalyst.com, and just kind of stay in the loop, you'd really want to check it out.
Where's your retreat going to be?
I don't know yet. It was going to be in Grapevine, Texas, but I kind of have an inkling because this movement that I have with my self-care catalyst is global. So I might just like reach out to my cohort and maybe we'll put a couple of locations in a hat and just like pull it out. But the actual course is virtual. So like everything is online and virtual, but then like we'll meet together at the end of the cohort, which will probably be in March for a nice weekend retreat. So if you have any ideas.
And then you have the book coming out in October that you are actually a co-author.
And then I'll have some more gratitude journals. I had like some old gratitude journals that might be here. Oh, I took it out. I'm sorry. But anyways, the gratitude journal that will kind of help you format your brain. So everything that we were talking about with rewiring, seeing what you're thankful for, reflecting on it, all that is in a journal. And there's affirmations in there as well. So I'm ramping that, and that's coming out next year too. So there's a lot of good things happening. And if you're like, Angel, you've told me so much. I know, and I'm sorry. Recommend if you go to my website, myselfcarecatalyst.com, there's a little button to join my free community. And there you'll be able to like stay in the loop and you don't have to keep up with everything. I'll just share it with you. And that you are able to choose to be involved as much or as little as you'd like.
Wonderful. You said it's myselfcarecatalyst.com. Wonderful. And so if somebody wanted to contact you, they can go there. But what are also like, where can they find you on social media?
Yes, My Self-Care Catalyst, like at My Self-Care Catalyst for Facebook and Instagram. And if you want that more like intimate space, that's where my 321 Self-Care Circle Facebook group is. That's at the top of my website. So I'd love to have you. We have a lot of great women in there, a lot of like-minded women that are just so encouraging. So that's where you can find me.
Wonderful. Is there any last word that you want to bless us with?
I'm thinking. Yes. Okay. Grow with God and grace for gratitude. So I want you, as you go on this journey of gratitude and you practice these little nuggets and tips that I gave you, give yourself grace. Because if you've thought a certain way for a long time, it's going to take time to change it. So we want to focus on, as my friend Sammy says, perfection is poverty. So we want to focus on progress and learning gratitude and shifting your mindset and all those things and not perfection. So just give yourself grace as you go on the journey and you will eventually start to see the change.
You just dropped the bomb right there. Perfection is poverty.
Yes.
Then you also say to grow in God, with God in grace
And
with
gratitude.
and gratitude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's a journey. And like, God doesn't expect you to be perfect. He really doesn't. And I'm a recovering perfectionist too, so I get it. But
I am.
Like the lady who's leading our book, Sammy Garrity, is the
Yes.
one who has the quote, perfection is poverty. And the moment I heard that, I'm like, my life has changed. My life has changed forever, because if you're trying to get it perfect, that means you think you only have this one shot to get it right and there's nothing else for you.
Wow.
But God is so gracious and he gives us so many chances, and he wants us to learn. We're his children, essentially.
Yes.
And I heard it said once that God's like 1 billion years old, right? So even when we're 100, we're going to be like toddlers to him. And you wouldn't treat a toddler in such a horrible way, like, why don't you understand this yet? What are you doing? But like, you're going to be so excited when they learn how to like take their steps, or when they learn how to pour something into their sippy cup, you know? So that's how God looks at us. So I just want to leave you with that. Just, rest in God's grace.
Love it. That is such a great way of ending this show. Thank you so very much. I thank you so much for saying yes to our invitation.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This was powerful. I learned a lot. I'm going to start voicing out my gratitude, and also be more mindful about switching out, switching out different things that could, bring me down to something that's going to make me, feel better and more confident and all that. And at the end of the month, check this out. I am going to go through my phone.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
And enjoy all those pictures and just make myself happy. And even in the evening, reflect, on and going back and reading, what are things
it's
that
so
I
good,
did experience.
everyone.
Yeah.
So good. And
thank
it's like
you
you have the
so much.
documentation.
Yes, thank you so much. So that being said, my dear friends, thank you for hopping on today. This was no other than Angel Theodore. She was a blessing to us. And if by any means she will be a blessing to you, do not hesitate to go to her site so that, you can get whatever you need that she can help you with. Okay. We are going to put the information in the description also of the video. And don't hesitate to contact us. If you can't find it, we'll help you find it. Okay. That being said, you have a great rest of the day. Thank you for tuning in again. And one more time, Miss Angel, thank you so much for coming into the show.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Science of Gratitude podcast. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, share it, and leave us a review. Your support helps us keep spreading the power of gratitude. And until next time, stay grateful. God bless you.